If you're over 60 and your feet feel cold, your ankles swell by evening, or your legs feel heavy after a normal day, this is not just aging. It may be your circulation quietly slowing down. For years, many people were told that tired legs, night cramps, or visible veins are simply part of getting older. But here's what most don't realize. Reduced blood flow in the legs isn't harmless. When circulation slows, blood can begin pooling in the lower legs. That pooling increases pressure inside the veins, stretches delicate valves, and over time may worsen swelling, discomfort, and even raise the risk of clot formation in people who sit for long periods. Research in vascular physiology has shown that blood flow velocity in the legs drops significantly after prolonged sitting, even in healthy adults. And after 60, the tiny one-way valves inside our veins don't snap back the way they used to. Gravity always wins unless something pushes back. The good news, your body already has a built-in solution. Today, I'm going to show you 3 simple, science-backed seated exercises designed specifically for adults over 60. They take less than 10 minutes, no equipment, no standing required. And the final one activates what cardiologists often call your second heart before you assume heavy legs are your new normal. Stay with me because what you're about to learn could completely change how you think about circulation after 60. Before we dive in, drop a comment with your first name, age, and where you're watching from. This is more than just a video. It's a community of strong, smart adults over 60 choosing better movement, one step at a time. Let's move forward together. Here's something most people never think about. Your heart has no problem pushing blood down into your legs. Gravity actually helps with that. The challenge is getting that blood back up to your heart. Inside your leg, veins are tiny one-way valves. Their job is to keep blood moving upward and prevent it from falling backward. But as we age, those valves can weaken and become less efficient. When that happens, blood begins to pool in the lower legs. That pooling creates pressure. Pressure leads to swelling. Swelling contributes to heaviness, visible veins, and discomfort. Now, here's the key. The only real force that pushes blood upward against gravity is muscle contraction. Every time your leg muscles contract, they squeeze the deep veins and propel blood back toward the heart. This mechanism is known as the calf muscle pump, often referred to as the second heart in vascular medicine. Studies in vascular research have shown that prolonged sitting significantly reduces venous blood flow velocity in the legs. Reduced movement means reduced pumping. Reduced pumping means stagnation, and stagnation increases the risk of clot formation in vulnerable individuals. But here's the empowering part. Just brief, intentional muscle activation can dramatically restore blood flow, which is exactly why these 3 exercises matter and why the final one may completely change how you think about sitting forever. Let's begin our countdown. Exercise number 3, the seated march. Why this matters. We're starting with exercise number 3 because it gently reactivates circulation higher up in the legs where blood begins its return journey. When you lift your knee while seated, you engage the hip flexors and quadriceps. These large thigh muscles surround major veins that carry blood back toward the heart. Each intentional lift creates a compression effect, helping push pooled blood upward and reduce pressure building in the lower legs. For adults over 60, this is especially important. Muscle mass naturally declines with age, and less muscle activity means less natural pumping support for your veins. Even mild inactivity can contribute to that heavy, sluggish feeling many people describe at the end of the day. The seated march is simple, but don't mistake simple for weak. Done with control, it wakes up circulation, warms the thighs, and prepares your legs for the more targeted calf work coming next. Think of this as turning the engine back on. How to do it correctly. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor. Sit tall, shoulders relaxed, chest open, spine upright. Avoid leaning back into the chair. Posture matters because it allows your hip muscles to engage properly. Now slowly lift your right knee a few inches off the seat. Not a swing, not a jerk, a controlled lift. As you raise your knee, deliberately tighten the front of your thigh. You should feel the quadriceps contract. Lower the foot back down slowly and quietly. If your foot slaps the floor, you're moving too fast. The lowering phase is just as important as the lift because the muscle continues working as it controls the descent. Now switch to the left leg. You are marching in place while seated. Aim for 1 lift per second. Smooth, steady, rhythmic. Continue for 60 seconds. About 30 lifts per league. Common mistakes to avoid: leaning backward and using momentum, swinging the leg instead of lifting with muscle control, rushing through repetitions, holding your breath. If you feel warmth spreading across your thighs by the end, that's a good sign. That warmth reflects increased oxygen-rich blood flow entering active muscle tissue. If you need to modify, lift the knee slightly lower. Even a small lift still activates the pump. 1 minute. That's all it takes to signal your body that circulation is not optional, it's essential. Next, we'll add the calf component and take this to another level. Exercise number 2, the seated leg extension with toe point. Why this movement is so powerful. Now we build on what you just activated. This exercise combines 2 critical circulation boosters in one smooth motion, the thigh pump and the calf pump. When you straighten your knee, your quadriceps compress the large veins in your upper leg. Then, when you point your toes, your calf muscle contracts, squeezing the deep veins that carry the majority of blood back toward your heart. This creates what I like to call a full leg flush. Research in vascular medicine consistently shows that the calf muscle pump plays a primary role in venous return. But when you combine thigh compression with calf contraction, you increase the efficiency of that return pathway. For adults over 60, this coordination matters. We're not just moving the leg, we're retraining the pumping sequence that gravity constantly challenges. And here's the part many people overlook. The foot position is not decorative. It is the difference between mild movement and meaningful circulation change. Let me show you how to do it correctly. Step-by-step instructions. Sit tall in your chair with both feet flat on the floor. Slowly extend your right leg forward until your knee is as straight as is comfortable, ideally approaching parallel with the floor. It does not need to lock fully straight. Comfort and control come first. Once extended, point your toes away from you like a ballet dancer. Feel your calf tighten. Hold for 2 seconds. That squeeze is your deep vein compression phase. Now gently flex your foot back toward your shin. You should feel a stretch through the calf. This is the refill phase, when the veins draw blood back in before the next contraction. Then slowly bend your knee and return your foot to the floor with control. Switch to the left leg. Repeat 10 controlled repetitions per side. Important reminders: move slowly. Rushing reduces the pumping effect. Do not snap the knee straight. Avoid leaning back to compensate. Keep breathing normally. If fully straightening your knee causes discomfort, extend only halfway. The toe point and flex are the most critical elements. In fact, if necessary, you may keep your heel lightly on the floor and simply alternate between pointing and flexing. Even that alone strongly activates the calf pump. By the time you finish both legs, you may feel lighter below the knees. That's not imagination, it's mechanics. Now we're ready for the most important exercise of all, the one that changes how you think about sitting forever. Exercise number 1, the seated calf pump. Why this one changes everything. If you remember nothing else from today, remember this: your calves are not just muscles, they are mechanical pumps. In vascular medicine, the calf muscle pump is often referred to as the second heart because of how powerfully it assists venous return. When your calf contracts, it compresses deep veins and propels blood upward toward the heart. When it relaxes, those veins refill and prepare for the next push. Studies on prolonged sitting show that venous blood flow in the legs drops significantly during inactivity. But even short bursts of calf activation can rapidly restore circulation. That means you don't need intense workouts. You need intentional pumping. This exercise is different from the others. It's not about counting reps. It's about rhythm, consistency, sustained flow. And once you understand its power, you'll never sit the same way again. How to perform it for maximum effect. Sit upright with both feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Keep the balls of your feet and your toes firmly planted. Now slowly lift both heels off the ground, as high as you comfortably can, rising onto the balls of your feet. At the top, squeeze your calves firmly for 1 full second, then slowly lower your heels back down. That's one pump. Now, continue at a steady, controlled rhythm. Up, squeeze, down. Up, squeeze, down. Avoid bouncing. Avoid rushing. The squeeze at the top is where the real pumping happens. After about 30 to 40 seconds, you may begin to feel a mild burning sensation in your calves. That's simply metabolic activity, a sign the muscle fibers are working. If it becomes uncomfortable, pause for 10 seconds, then resume. Continue for 2 full minutes. Once this feels comfortable, you can progress. Try one leg at a time to increase the load, or place a thick book under the balls of your feet so your heels travel slightly lower at the bottom. A greater range of motion creates a stronger contraction. Here's the mindset shift. This is the closest thing to walking you can do while seated. Every squeeze sends a wave of blood upward. Every repetition counters gravity. You can do this while watching television, reading, or talking on the phone. And if you sit for long periods, this may be the most important 2 minutes of your day. Now, let's talk about how to make this part of your daily routine so the results compound over time. How to use this daily. Now let's make this practical. The full sequence takes about 5 to 6 minutes. Exercise number 3, seated. March 60 seconds. Exercise number 2, leg extension with toe point, 10 reps per leg. Exercise number 1, seated calf pump, 2 minutes. Ideally, perform the full routine once per day, especially in the afternoon or early evening when fluid has naturally accumulated in the lower legs. If you sit for extended periods, add a 2-minute calf pump session every hour. Think of it as a circulation reset. One important note, avoid doing the full routine within 1 hour of bedtime. Improving circulation late at night may increase nighttime bathroom trips due to fluid redistribution. Consistency matters more than intensity. Small daily activation keeps the blood moving and valves supported. Over time, lighter leagues become your new normal. Important medical note. This content is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for personalized medical advice. If you have a history of deep vein thrombosis, DVT, severe varicose veins, heart failure, unexplained leg swelling, sudden calf pain, or recent surgery, speak with your physician before beginning any new exercise routine. If you ever experience sudden swelling in one leg, sharp pain, redness, warmth, chest discomfort, or shortness of breath, seek medical attention immediately. Movement is powerful, but it must always be safe and appropriate for your individual health situation. Your legs have carried you through decades of life. They carried you to work, through airports, across parking lots, upstairs, into rooms filled with people you love. They have supported your independence, your routines, your memories. Circulation after 60 is not about decline, it's about maintenance with intention. Your body still responds to movement. Your veins still respond to muscle contraction. Your circulation still improves when you give it the right signals. Healthy aging is rarely about extremes. It's about daily decisions, choosing to move instead of staying still, hydrating wisely earlier in the day, avoiding habits that compress your veins, prioritizing quality sleep so your vascular system can repair and regulate overnight. You don't need complicated equipment. You don't need to stand for long workouts. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. 3 simple exercises, a few focused minutes, a shift in awareness. When you activate your second heart, you're not just improving blood flow, You're reinforcing independence. You're supporting balance. You're reducing swelling. You're sending oxygen where it's needed. Over 60 is not a limitation. It's a stage of life where wisdom allows you to work smarter with your body instead of against it. Start today, stay consistent for 2 weeks, then notice the difference: warmer feet, lighter legs, fewer cramps, less evening tightness. That improvement isn't luck. It's physiology responding to your effort, and that means the power has been in your hands all along. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these exercises surprised you most? Have you ever experienced heavy legs, swelling, or night cramps? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one.